About 6 houses ago, Joe and I were living in this place, and the owners, I think they died, and their kids took over the property because we're renting, of course, we're renting. And the kids, who were adults, came around one day and had a look around the place. I only remember one thing, and it's always puzzled me that one of the dudes, because I think there was four of them from this family, sort of while they were walking around, sort of brushed past me to, walked past me and sort of brushed past me aggressively. And I've never been able to understand what that was about. I didn't do anything. I was too busy standing there thinking, what is this bullshit? I don't fucking understand it. I mean, I stood there just thinking that guy's a piece of shit, but I don't understand what's happening at all. And I think now, 6 rental properties later, I understand what was happening was this dude was trying to start a fight with me. There was no tension in the air. There were no dramas. We, as renters, knew our place, which was to act, what we were supposed to do, which is just act as normal as possible when the landlord is around. The game is to be more reasonable than they are. Like, you're more of a responsible person. You meet your obligations. You behave yourself. You are courteous. You've got your act together. You're an adult. You're a full person. You're someone who can be relied on. Yeah, you just try to radiate that energy when you're dealing with landlords and real estate agents. You don't give them an opening to pry their filthy little looting scumbag fingers into. So we were doing that, and this guy aggressively brushed past me. And now I realise, he was trying to start a fight with me because they were looking at this place and thinking, well, this place is a fucking tip, which it was. It was rubbish. The toilet was outside. The bathroom was outside. The kitchen was a lean-to. It wasn't insulated at all. I could go on and on. So they looked at the place and realised the best thing to do would be to tear down most of it and rebuild it and then sell it for an incredible price, which is what happened after we moved out. We had to move out, right? But this fucking idiot, instead of, understanding that as a landlord, he can do whatever the fuck he wants to us, and there's nothing we can do about it that's, legal. He thought, I'm going to have to create a pretext for kicking these people out. So I'm going to start a fight with this dude, and then that's going to turn into a full-blown thing. We can then call the cops, and then I can say, well, I don't feel safe with these tenants. They're wild animals. And now he's got his pretext to kick us out. I think as a brand new landlord, and also as like the spoiled, snot-nosed asshole spawn of a landlord, his attitude was even more fucked up than a landlord's. And it's interesting, isn't it? You think, there's a lot of inherited wealth in this world. So rich people stopped purposely inbreeding a while ago because they realized that what happens is you end up with absolutely horrific, fucked up looking people, out of the inbreeding process. So they don't do that kind of inbreeding, but they do something else, which is they hand their wealth down to their horrible fucking children. And so the world, as history has rolled by over the centuries, the world has become a significantly, worse place. People like to say, "Oh, I couldn't live without, the luxuries and the conveniences of modern life, the technology, the the machinery." But I guarantee you, a few hundred years ago, if you're living somewhere where you live off the land, what you can grow, what you can share amongst your community, you help each other, your life revolves around seasonal festivals, they're the big events of the year. Uh, you're largely left alone by the powers that be. You live off the commons, for instance, which the commons doesn't exist anymore. Everything's owned now. Your life and the kind of person you would be, just 1,000 times better, more fun. You'd be feeling a lot better. I'd be feeling a lot better. We'd be having a much better time. And the world has got worse and worse and worse as more and more of the world around us is owned by people who are increasingly fucking dickheads who are constantly trying to start fights because they have no real social understanding of how the world works. Everything to these, emotionally inbred children of affluence is transactional. We're at the point now where capitalism is so wildly out of control that if you jump on social media and have a poke around, you are overwhelmed by the spectacle of people who are pretending to be rich because they think it's the only thing that's worth being. And the problem is they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Taking a drink there from my 100 years of Camp Gallipoli Anzac spirit. If you're not Australian, you don't know what that means. If you are Australian, you just shake your head and wonder why. That's my joke cup. Realising that what happened with this landlord was, that he wanted to start a fucking fight with me. It's made all of this come together in my mind and understand a few things about how the world works. And what I'm realising is that, I already knew the world doesn't work. It's not working. Shit needs to change. We're talking about climate change, the misery of people's lives across the planet, which, if you haven't heard about that, it'll take you a couple of seconds of Googling around. Just have a little bit of a poke around online, and you'll find that the depths of suffering are bottomless on this planet. And it's always the fault of fucking rich kids who don't know how to behave and who are going to fight us every step of the way as we struggle for justice and freedom and liberation from their world, because we live in their world, we live in their houses. So just a few thoughts there for you, guaranteed to just ignite in you a revolutionary fervor that no one can put out, or not. Maybe you own a house. You're not at the mercy of landlords. You have some security, some safety, some comfort, some certainty, or at least you believe you have some certainty, or you believe that things are going to work out for you eventually, or whatever. So my words simply bounce off you. They are my words are simply entertainment value. They're simply some online content that you let wash over you. Okay, fine. I can dig it. It's cool, man. While we're here, on a side note, I've been making these videos. I'm back into making videos in a big way. I'm trying to make them every day because I love it. And, I've had some big changes in my life that have simplified things, have clarified things. Uh, So what I'm going to do is these videos I'm currently making, I'm going to be packaging them up and putting them out in the form of podcasts. So grabbing 5 or 6 or an hour's worth, a chunk of me just going on and on and on about matters of grave importance. And then, you can, I don't know, as you're commuting to your job or doing the gardening, or maybe you're going for a little jog. You're going for a little joggy jog and you listen to my soothing tones in the form of a podcast. And I, through producing a podcast, I open yet another window for my ideas to hopefully chip away at people's, confidence that things are fine, until they eventually have a complete mental breakdown and run out into the street swinging axes above their heads and demanding the blood of our oppressors. Have a nice day.